Boston City Councilor Lydia Edwards is our guest this morning. Let's go on the record. She wants to take her career from City Hall to Beacon Hill, running in a special election for the state Senate. She's also a key backer of mayoral candidate Michelle Wu. The councilor is here. Let's go on the record.
From WCVB Channel 5, the inside word from Washington to Beacon Hill. Today's newsmakers are going on the record.
Welcome to OTR on this final Sunday in September. I'm Ed Harding, along with News Center 5's political reporter Janet Woods. Great to have you with us this morning. As we mentioned, our guest this morning is Boston City Councilor Lydia Edwards, who is now a candidate for state Senate. A special preliminary election is set for December in the 1st Suffolk and Middlesex District. She's a member of the City Council since 2018, an advocate of housing and labor issues, holds graduate degrees from American University and BU. It's great to have you with us. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you here. Let's focus first on your relationships as a city councilor. Were you surprised none of the black candidates running for mayor made it to the final ballot? And why do you think that happened?
Well, you know, as you know, I endorsed Michelle Wu, and but it's just speaking about what happened that day. There was very low voter participation. I think that was the biggest surprise to me, how few people came out with this historic slate. I was just really disappointed in general. I thought there was much more excitement than there would have been. And then in terms of, you know, who ultimately made it in the top two, I think I really wasn't surprised that the two at-large city councilors who had been circulating around the city for years, 8 to 10 years, made it, versus district city councilors had a harder time. That was not a surprise to me.
So you're saying that race had little to do with it?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the key factor, I think, was the fact that there were two at-large city councilors who had enclaves and friends and supporters throughout the city and had cultivated those relationships for years. It was going to be hard if you're a district city councilor, period. Now, in terms of race, I think that's where you're talking about the voter turnout. We didn't see a lot of black voters come out at the numbers that they needed to propel either one of the candidates forward, either of the three candidates forward. So I think there was not enough voter turnout.
Is it too simple to ask why there wasn't a larger number of voter turnout? Why more people did not show up? Is it too simple to ask that question?
Especially in the black community.
I don't know if it's too. I mean, it may be too soon to ask that community, or excuse me, ask that question. It may be too soon. We're still in the middle of the race, and we're going to find out if this is going to be consistent all the way into the final. If this is something that we're finding that's just what it is, or if there's going to be a huge uptick in the final. We're going to find that out soon, and I think then you'll be able to do a deep dive as to why or why not people came out.
You mentioned it right at the very beginning. We mentioned it as we introduced you. You mentioned it in your first answer to Janet that Michelle Wu, you endorsed her very early in this race, months ago. You represent neighborhoods which are very diverse, North End, East Boston, Charlestown. But did you get any pushback from other black politicians? Again, because you mentioned it very early, you endorsed Michelle Wu.
There was some curiosity. There were some people who wanted to know why, because look, I had 4 colleagues in the race. It wasn't as though it was Michelle. I had Anissa, Kim, and Andrea as well, you know. So a lot of people were just curious what's going on and where did that come from. I wouldn't call it pushback. Like, they're politicians. They know I make political calculus, and I also am a loyal person. And so Michelle has endorsed me and supported me and been with me the longest. And so I supported my friend, and I think the most qualified person to be the mayor.
How optimistic are you that there'll be a larger black and brown turnout for the final than there was in the preliminary?
I think in general, you see in trends that there's always an uptick in turnout in the final. Preliminary elections have consistently and always been a low voter turnout. Even primaries, Democratic primaries, and then you see in the general when it's eventually a Democrat versus Republican, or even the top two, and people really hone in on this is the decision, this is who could be the mayor. I think there's going to be an uptick because there's a certain amount of urgency then.
Let's talk about the final. Will this be decided, do you think, on personality or issues? And if issues, what's sort of the single number one issue do you think most voters that will actually go to the polls are most concerned about?
I think it's going to be determined on not so much either. I think it's going to be determined on trust and vision. I think a lot of people really need to trust in the leader. We're a strong mayor system. That's what we're primed for. That's what Boston is. That is the moral compass for us. And so it's a matter of trust. Do I trust this woman or this woman to help this city have the best future? And I think when it comes to trust, people are looking right now at education. They're looking at jobs, especially, and they're honestly looking at this post-pandemic world where so many of our systems failed us. Childcare wasn't available. We saw people who were wanting to work, couldn't work, were on unemployment and didn't get it. And so I think ultimately the issue is who has the best plan in terms of recovery and healing. That's number one. Education, of course, and jobs are always there and consistently there. And of course, all the polling shows that housing is the number one issue. But no one really looks at it, I feel, as just an issue, numbers, plan. It's a trust issue. And so I trust, obviously, Michelle Wu to get us through this.
You just touched on it, but regardless of who wins November's election, it's for the first time the city will not have a mayor who is white, a white male. It is going to be a woman and a woman of color. So how does this translate into concrete, visible changes in the lives of Bostonians? I mean, let me state the obvious. It's the largest city in the state. It's the largest city in New England. It's an important city in the country. So how does that translate into the now Boston?
Well, I think it demonstrates who Boston is. You know, Boston is majority woman, majority people of color. So the fact that the leader of Boston will be both is, well, welcome to Boston. That's what that means. So, and I think that I think we're finally starting to shed the, no offense to these artists, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, kind of stereotype of what Boston is. I'm Boston. I may not be born here, but I'm Boston. My constituents, many of whom have TPS or immigrants, East Boston itself was only second to Ellis Island for the amount of immigrants that came in here. That's Boston. And I think what I see is we're saying yes, and we're proud of that.
Well, I guess the most obvious question that follows up with that is the fact that, Michelle Wu is not born in Boston. Do you think this is going to be an issue in the campaign?
I think it is, for some, because of the way that they've seen the mayor. Being born and raised in Boston means that you really can understand the aspects of Boston. But I would just caution people to know you can't control where you were born any more than I could, right? You can.
You're right.
You can control how you lead and who you serve. And that's what you should look at. Because what I see is that Boston is changing. Majority of people who live in Boston are not from here. So the leadership naturally is going to eventually come from someone who isn't born in Boston. That's not a bad thing. It just speaks to how Boston's stepping into itself. It is changing, I think, in a beautiful way, and it's changing in a way that is more inclusive. Being born here you're blessed to be born here, right? But I chose to be here in Boston, and that choice has been the best thing that's happened to my life, and I know hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of other people's lives as well.